I'm Melissa Shanahan, and this is the Velocity Work Podcast episode number 105. This podcast is for attorneys who are running their own firms. We explore tactics, tools, and stories related to pushing past simply lawyering well and into building a successful firm. Working in your firm and working on your business are two very different things. This podcast focuses on the latter. Well, hi, friends, and welcome to this week's episode. Guess what? I am coming to you from my brand new office space. This is so great. So Velocity Work signed a lease, and we now have a dedicated office in a really beautiful space. And I did research. I really searched around. I wanted the vibe and the people to feel right. I wanted the space to feel right, and we found it. It's going to be perfect for hosting our private clients that come in for us to lead their quarterly meetings and their annual business planning retreats. And it's going to be perfect actually for hosting bigger group events. They have a training room that is awesome, and we'll be able to utilize that in the future. There's also a lot of changes over here behind the scenes happening. We just hired 2 new employees. They are awesome. I'm so pumped about these people joining the team. It's going to be fantastic. And clients and members are going to be feeling just positive changes because of the additions of these new team members. So that's really exciting. Oh my gosh, there's just a lot. There's so much coming up, and I'm pumped about all of it. And I tell you what, even though this week has been absolutely crazy, one of the craziest weeks I've had in a long time in terms of needing to be a lot of places, very close together, locking down this space, needing to make some decisions on who we are hiring, and there's some marketing initiatives that are getting underway. There's just a lot going on, and it's so fun. I would not have it any other way. There was a couple moments this week I started to get stressed, like tensed up kind of stressed. And I was like, oh, no. This is it, sister. This is so fun. And this is awesome. Take a breath and don't ever forget where you are right now, because there's something really beautiful about it. So I hope that each of you, no matter what phase you're in of growth, I hope that you can remind yourself of that at the same time, because stress and tension is natural to be a part of the journey as you're growing and as you're expanding. And the truth is, you wouldn't really have it any other way. You started your own thing for a reason. And part of the deal is that when things are hard and when things feel a little sticky and when things feel stressful, that is part of the journey. And we have an opportunity in those moments to be the version of ourselves that we need to be in order to have whatever it is that we're shooting for, whatever firm, whatever that looks like for you. Who do you need to be in order to have that kind of firm? You have to be that now. You have to be able to have the capacity for all of the things that happen. And I've had periods in my life where I haven't had to have the capacity yet. I was developing it. And now it's almost like no matter what gets thrown my way, I have worked hard enough to be able to remind myself in those moments to take a deep breath when hard stuff happens. And because part of growth and expansion, it's never a cakewalk. And there's always things that happen that are sticky and that you have to figure out and get through and create solutions for and all of that. There's real challenges. And the best way to handle those things is to take a really deep breath and really understand and be able to remind yourself that you have the capacity for all of this. You have the capacity for the great, fun, exciting pieces. You have capacity to handle the challenging pieces. You have capacity for all of it. You have that in any given moment. You can remind yourself of that and just feel yourself expand a little bit into the moment so that you can handle whatever it is that's there in front of you. Whatever your circumstances are in that moment, you can totally handle it. You can have capacity for it and sit with it and not react to it, not rush out of it. No, none of that. Just be able to breathe and sit with it and look at it objectively and figure out things, make some calls and make some smart decisions. And I mean, listen, I have more development to do with this. I am not done by any stretch, but there's something that's happened in the last couple of weeks where I realized I'm proud of myself for getting to a place where I don't get rocked the way that I used to. Things don't throw me. Things that should, technically, like, things that pop up where it's like, okay. I just know at this point to take a breath and realize, okay, I've got this. I've got capacity for all of it. So now what? And then I can make some objective decisions. So I know that some of you know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm sharing this. And some of you understand it enough. You understand it intellectually, but you haven't maybe experienced it. But we always have a new opportunity to open up to the challenges in a way where what I'm talking about is your experience. So I thought I'd share that. We're all doing a lot of work on ourselves, right? We all are growing and expanding. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably subscribe to the idea that it is about developing yourself as the owner. If that is ignored or overlooked, you're going to be sorry. At some point, it's all going to catch up with you. You really do have to develop yourself as you grow the business and as the business grows. So that's where I am. And it feels really freaking good. It feels really, really good. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I did a podcast episode. It was number 96. It was the first of a series of 3 that I did about the Focus Forward framework, which is really what I abide by, period. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It doesn't matter if I'm doing work on my own stuff, my own business. I think about this framework all the time and I abide by it. And I know that if I do abide by it, I will expedite in my journey towards wherever it is that I want to go, will be more efficient. And I don't mean it'll go faster for the sake of being in a hurry or getting there just to get there faster, but it'll be smoother. And having that framework helps me identify where I am on the journey and be able to make appropriate calls, appropriate decisions, make sure that I'm thinking in the right ways about the spot that I'm in so that I can experience a good flow forward. Focus Forward framework. So I did this episode, number 96. It was called Focus Forward Framework AIM. So it's what you're aiming for. And I talked a lot about that. Here's the deal. In that, I shared how I lead most law firm owners through deciding what they're going to aim for. It has evolved over time, but it's pretty solid for me now. I know how to facilitate a law firm owner thinking through what it is that they want to aim for. And we do that because, yes, the firm needs to grow and you want the firm to grow. That's typically why I'm talking to someone. You want it to do something, right? There's different ways to think about the evolution of a firm. So the thing that I always do is talk to the owner about what they want for themselves, for their life. If they could wave a magic wand, what would their life look like? How much would they be working? How much time off would they take? What do they care about, right? Like some people really care about travel, others don't. Some people really care about their health, others don't. There's all these different things matter to different people. It's a really beautiful thing. But most of the time when we're planning for our businesses, they don't actually link up that they need to take all of that into consideration, or else they end up creating a business that isn't in line with what they really wanted for themselves. And that is a shame because you see owners who have done that and you get there and it's not the end of the world, but God, it's so hard to unwind things when you've built it just 1 degree off from what you really cared about as the owner. And that's tough. It's just a lot of pain and discomfort that you can avoid if you just think forward in the right ways, if you line up your goals with what matters to you as the owner. So I've always been very interested in learning about the owner, not just about the business, because it matters. It matters. We take it all into account when we're strategically planning. Most law firm owners that engage with Velocity Work, no matter on what level they're engaging with us, this suits them. What I just explained to you and planning and taking it all into account in your life. And, you want to build a firm that supports the life that you want. And we have to do that. And that's perfect for most people. Every once in a while, you meet someone who they've already done that And now what? Right? Like they have the life that they want and they have the firm that's supporting the life that they want. So now what do you shoot for? Do you just grow for the sake of growth? Like what happens now? And for some people, it's disorienting to get there where, your needs don't need to be met anymore. They're already being met and you really enjoy your life. So when you get there and all the planning that I was just telling you about and all the facilitation, let's just say we lead the person and they create that reality for themselves. Then what? Well, what's interesting is I just had a conversation with a private client and he's newer with working with us. He has this grand vision. And I didn't know him that well. I didn't understand what he wants yet. I was still in discovery phase with him for his firm. And he had this grand vision, like national level vision for his firm, multi-city, multi-state vision. And I was asking, why? Why do you want that? What do you think that's going to give you? Let's just say you have it. What does that do for you? Why do you want that? So anyway, I had this conversation and the more I talked to him, the more I realized, he's one of these. He is one of these that he actually created the life he wanted through the firm. He did it. And now he has the capacity to be able to look towards a much grander vision with a much larger impact. And so the more we started talking, I was just giddy with delight because it's not very often that you meet someone who really is in that spot. And here's why I think we hear from all different angles, from Simon Sinek, who I love, by the way, but Simon Sinek talks about having a just cause and how important that is. And recently, I have given this a ton of thought. I listened to a podcast where he was talking about this and I was like, I just don't buy it. I work with too many business owners and having a just cause, and that's the sole focus, is asinine, to be totally frank, because what ends up happening is you start building the firm for this cause, but you aren't really taken care of yet. And there's resentment that starts to build and there's this pushing forward towards this impact and towards this greater vision, but you aren't taken care of yet as the owner. You actually don't have the freedom that you want. And somehow we think, because of what a lot of experts write in their books about, you need this noble vision statement or this just cause or this grand vision and focused around impact. I love the idea of that. But the problem with that is that when you start down that path, but you don't have what you need yet, you don't have the freedom that you were seeking when you started your firm, then you start going down this path and it becomes at the cost of you. Often it becomes at the cost of you. And maybe you are making a bigger impact, but it's almost like you are shriveling as it happens because you aren't focusing on giving yourself what you need. And it just delays the process. It mucks it up. It creates chaos. It's not an efficient or smooth way to work towards what you want. And so this is why I work so hard with owners to just get your stuff right first. You get the freedom first that you are desiring. Like, what's the payoffs for you for having your own firm? What does your life look like? And let's work backwards from that and build that. That's phase one. That's step one. Because then once you have the life that you're really pleased with, your needs are met, truly, you're fulfilled. Now what? Now you can play a bigger game and you have all of you to bring to that instead of sort of a shell of yourself over time is what ends up happening, and giving more and more of yourself to this just cause before you've created the stability and foundation and the life that you want. So when I was talking to this private client and digging into why does he want this grand vision, because in my head, normally that just tells me, he thinks that grand vision is going to give him something. He thinks that when he can have, a location in 5 cities and, nationwide, that then he'll be able to have the revenue that he wants and the freedom that he wants and the team that he wants and the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But after talking more and more with him, no, he's got all that. He has the money he wants. He can travel the way he wants. His life is the way he wants his life. He has built that. Now he wants to play a bigger game. And that is so, so fun. He smiles when he talks about it. He lights up when he talks about it. You can see his energy shift when he talks about it. And it was so clear to me that the only reason he has that kind of excitement around it is because he's good. He's good. And now he has the energy to pour into this greater vision. And I loved it. It was such a fun discovery call conversation that we got to have. And it was delightful. It's not very often that you meet someone that's gotten themselves there and now they just want to see, let's see what's possible. I mean, I don't even know, right? Like, he doesn't feel like he's hindered by anything. He doesn't feel like he's strapped to his business. He's got all the freedom he wants. And, of course, we'll still take into account all of his needs and his wants as we plan forward. But because they're so taken care of at this point, it's easy, so easy. And now we can really push for him towards this greater vision and to plan and do some strategic planning for how is he going to get there? How is he going to build that? And it's just super fun. I wanted to share all this with you because I don't think I went into this too much on that episode 96, but so often, too early, people focus on these grand visions. They're well intended, and it's because they do have a desire to make a really big impact. That's real. But the truth is, you can go so much faster and in so much more of a fulfilled way if you first look at the vision that you want for your life with your firm and what you want the firm to be able to provide for your life. If you just get there and create that, then you have such a solid foundation for which to create the greater impact. And people skip it. It's like they want to kind of do it all at the same time. And it doesn't work out very often. I'm sure there's exceptions to this, right? There's exceptions to nearly every rule, maybe every rule. But it is important, I think, if you don't want to waste time, that's the way I think about it. If you want to be as direct as possible, if you want to get where you want to go as quickly as possible, if you want to create that impact without delay, then first get yourself to that place where you have the freedom that you want in your life and you have the results for your life are exactly the way you want them. Then you're good to put your foot on the gas with something much greater. And if you try to just make that happen all along the way towards your bigger vision, it gets messy. And then without realizing it, you have two goals. You have the bigger impact goal and you have this life goal, getting to this state where you really enjoy your firm and your life. Both you want to happen simultaneously. And when you do that, it waters down your focus. It makes things more chaotic. Decisions aren't made as clearly and cleanly as they could be because it isn't lined up with one thing really specifically. You're trying to handle and to navigate towards two different things. And you wouldn't articulate it that way, but that's what's happening. And even if people are like, no, I just make decisions for the impact, whatever that vision is for you. Nope, all my decisions are just directly in line with that impact. Well, then you end up leaving yourself in the dust at some point in the journey. So I love this concept. It's so clear to me. I wanted to make sure you guys have this knowledge set that you can run with in your own way, no matter where you are with things, no matter where you are towards your goals. If you have goals or if you don't have goals, I hope that this helps you identify what you should think about with goals and how you should think about the growth and how you should think about impact if that matters to you. By the way, not everybody has that. Some people get to this place where the firm provides them the life that they want and they're golden. They're riding that out and they're having a blast in their life and that it feels like so fulfilling and wonderful. There's other people who get there and they're like, oh, let's go. It's just a thing in them that they've got that they just want to see what's possible. And this guy is one of those. And this guy will he will be an example of what's possible. And it's because of the way that he's done this. It's because he's built the firm to create the life he has now that he loves. And now he's going to build to this greater impact. And it's going to be amazing. He's going to be an example of what's possible. You're going to know his name. And I'm excited for all of it for him. I have zero doubt he will do it. But I think that's only possible because of where he's gotten himself now. And he recognizes that. And now he just wants to have fun. He wants to really put his foot on the gas and see what he's made of. And I love that. Now, listen, one thing I want to make sure that you guys understand is that I don't think one spot is better than the other. I genuinely think it's all such a gift that we get to participate in this journey of creating something, and having your own firm. That's such an awesome opportunity and a gift, and you are doing it. I am just suggesting that no matter where you are on the journey, if you don't have the life that you really desire, you don't have the freedom that you desire, you don't have the results in your life yet, and your firm hasn't helped you create those, I'm just saying you should focus there and listen to episode 96 and work backwards from that. I lead you step by step through it. I lead people in Mastery Group through that. I lead my private clients through that if it's appropriate for where they are. But then once you do that and you actually create it, you blow your own mind, you have this life that you love, then you feel like you have the capacity to really make an impact. Then you go do it. And that's fun too. It's all a really cool ride, but stay focused. That's my point here, is stay focused. Don't focus on the grand vision until you've got the life that you want, then focus on the grand vision. It's a more efficient way of creating the impact that you want to create. So that's my 2 cents there. And here's the other thing. I was talking about Simon Sinek, and there's experts out there that will talk about you need this grand vision or this just cause or this, whatever, anything along those lines. And this is same for like EOS, which a lot of people know of EOS and Traction and all of that. They recommend this. But what you have to remember is that most of the time, these experts and these companies, they are not dealing with people who are just starting out building their business. That's not who they're talking to. Most of the time, they're talking to companies that are established. Their target market is businesses that are doing millions of dollars. And do you know why I know this? Actually, I should let you in on why my brain knows this for sure. Is because the consulting firm that I left to start Velocity Work, the CEO used EOS. We were a $75 million company using EOS and Strategic Coach both. Come on, right? Like, you have to realize who they're targeting. Now, not all businesses need to be $75 million businesses. That's not what I'm saying in revenue per year. But you just have to understand that chances are, if you're listening to this podcast, you are not their target market with their messaging. It does not mean there's not value there. I mean, I think it's brilliant concepts shared and taught. But you do have to understand who they're talking to so that you don't just blindly take every piece of advice and plug it in for your business. It doesn't make sense to do that. You really have to think about where you are. And I'm telling you, most of the people listening to this podcast don't actually have the freedom and the life that they love and they enjoy. You need to get there first. You need to get your firm to, of course, do good work for clients, of course, be in line with, your values and all of that. But it needs to be able to give you the life that you want as well. And once you create that, which is totally possible, my friends, it's totally possible. Once you create that, then go for it. Then just go blow your own mind with the impact you can have on the world and all that. And again, this is not to say that you can't have impact towards sort of that level 1, that place where you're giving yourself the life that you want as well as the firm doing well. That's not what I'm saying, for sure, right? You're doing good work. You're serving people. You are having a great impact with your business. But the grand vision, that needs to come after you're taken care of fully. I just love you guys. And I want this to be everything you want it to be, right? That's it. That is it. Well, with that, I'm going to sign off for today, and I will see you here next Tuesday. Hey there. If you enjoyed this podcast, I highly recommend you come and check out Mastery Group. It is where owner attorneys come together to study this material, apply it, and thus create really big results for their firm and for their life. So come on over, velocitywork.com/join to get more information and get started. Show notes from this episode can be found at velocitywork.com/podcast.